Get ready. Something powerful is on the horizon. The strawberry full moon is rising, and whether you're prepared or not, it's coming. Its energy is already stirring, already shifting things in ways you might not yet understand. It's not waiting for you to feel ready. It's not asking what you want. It's watching what you do, especially in these final hours before it fully reveals itself. This moon is known for its sweetness, its sense of harvest, for being the kind of moon that feels like a gift. But what most people don't realize is that the real magic doesn't begin when the moon is full. It begins before. The night just before it peaks holds something crucial. It acts like a doorway, and whether or not you walk through it can change everything. Miss it, and you're not just late. You're out of sync with a powerful moment that won't come again for a while. Tonight isn't only about making wishes or setting intentions. It's about making actual moves, even small ones, that show you're in alignment with what you say you want. This is the time to take action, any kind of action that matters to your spirit. Think about the little things you've been avoiding without even knowing why. Maybe it's a decision you've put off, a conversation you haven't had, or a small task that's been weighing on you. Sit with that for a second. Let it come to the surface, and if it feels right, share what you're working through. You can even include repeating numbers like 111 to match the current vibration of sudden clarity and readiness that's bubbling just beneath everything. If you've been feeling on edge today, restless, anxious, or unusually emotional, pay attention. That discomfort isn't random. It's pointing you towards something important, and what you need to do about it might not be what you expect. I'll explain more in a moment, but for now, stay with this feeling. Let it stir something awake inside you. Here's the thing. Most people wait for the moon to rise before doing anything. But the ones who shift their energy before that moment are the ones who actually shift their lives. This is a rare moment where your voice doesn't just bounce around the universe. It cuts through, it makes things move, it writes new directions. There's something like a spiritual loophole happening right now. In these few hours before the full moon, you have a chance to do more than manifest. You can command. But there's a twist. This moment isn't about speaking to the moon like it's a magic mirror. It's about speaking to yourself in a new way. Something happens when you shift your internal dialogue, when you stop waiting for signs and start becoming one. Before the moonlight hits its peak, there are a few specific things you can do to align yourself. If you ignore this moment and continue moving through your night on autopilot, the moon's energy won't meet you. It'll move around you, not through you. That's why it's so important to disrupt one small thing in your routine on purpose. It doesn't have to be big or dramatic, just different enough to wake up your system. Use your non-dominant hand to brush your teeth. Shower at a completely different time than usual. Take a different route on your evening walk. Even changing your phone background to something strange or symbolic for just one night can create a ripple. The moment you interrupt your usual pattern, even slightly, something inside you shifts. Energy starts moving again. Because when everything stays the same, the message you send to the universe is, I want to stay here. But the moment you shift, even in the smallest way, you signal, I'm ready for something else. The energy of this moon isn't listening to what you say. It's reading the patterns of what you do. And if you're still caught in your usual habits, it assumes you want things to stay exactly as they are. So show it otherwise. Show it that you're paying attention. Show it that you're conscious enough to disrupt your own rhythm. Not because you're lost, but because you're awake. The universe doesn't respond to perfection. It responds to change. It reacts to the mind that chooses differently, even when it doesn't have to. And when you make even one small shift tonight, you'll begin to notice strange alignments. Something will click. The loop breaks. The energy begins to flow. But that's only the beginning. If you are satisfied with my hard work, please consider donating a super thanks. Tonight is also a night to ask. Not out loud, not on social media, just quietly and clearly to yourself. There's a question inside you that's been hovering there for a while. Something unresolved, something that keeps surfacing without answers. Write it down. Use your own handwriting. Be simple, clear, and honest. Don't decorate it. Don't do a ritual. Just write it, fold it gently, and tuck it under your pillow. This small act gives your subconscious permission to enter a deeper conversation. One that doesn't rely on words. One that happens in the quiet space of your dreams. But there's a rule. Don't check that paper tomorrow. Don't go hunting for meaning. Let it be untouched for 3 full days. There's a reason for this. The first day brings insight. The second brings resistance. And the third? That's when clarity breaks through. Over those 3 days, you might notice strange things. A sentence in a random conversation will hit you like a message. A lyric in a song, an image, a thought. They'll all point back to the question you asked. And if you're patient enough to let it unfold naturally, the answer will come. But only if you asked it in the dark. Some answers aren't meant to be spoken. Some only arrive in silence. Tonight, your sleep isn't just rest. It's a journey. As the full moon window opens, something unlocks not only in the sky, but in the deepest parts of your own consciousness. The dreams that rise tonight are not random. They're messages, coded in metaphor, disguised in chaos, wrapped in symbols only you can interpret. You might dream of a person calling your name, a place you've never seen but somehow know, an object that keeps showing up no matter how strange. Don't brush it off. Don't assume it's just your mind playing tricks. It's not. Your dreams tonight are sacred ground. They're where your soul walks ahead of your waking self, scouting your future path, gathering information, testing timelines, and when you wake, you might only have a sliver of what happened, a feeling, a single image, a weird little moment. But write it down. Capture it immediately. That one detail could hold everything. That one symbol could show you who's coming, what's next, or what finally needs to be faced with open eyes and an open heart. This strawberry full moon is known for planting previews in your dreams, glimpses of what's already forming in your reality. But if you treat those dreams like noise, like junk mail, you'll miss the key. The moon won't hand you clarity in a speech. It will drop signs into fog. Your job is to remember where they landed. And you're not meant to be calm tonight. You're meant to be clear. One of the most mysterious effects of this full moon is how it strips away emotional filters. You might suddenly feel exposed, raw. A single memory might rise up and demand your attention. Don't run from it. Don't try to tidy it up. Let it be. This isn't about solving or fixing anything. It's about observing yourself without interference, like watching a storm through a window. This is a moment to witness your emotional weather. Not judge it. Not change it. Just see it. Really see it. When you stop resisting the feelings, something shifts. You begin to see that the thing you've been avoiding isn't pain, it's truth. It's a kind of information your soul has been trying to deliver to you, but you were too busy running from discomfort to hear it. So tonight, don't force yourself to be at peace. Let yourself be present. Whatever emotion shows up, welcome it. Let it speak. Because in that raw honesty, something begins to organize. Something inside you begins to realign. And what you were so afraid to face may turn out to be your clearest direction yet. Clarity doesn't arrive in silence because emotions were shut down. It arrives when emotions are seen, respected, and allowed to speak. And in that space, you stop fearing the truth. You start recognizing it. This moon doesn't just illuminate the sky. It illuminates you. And if you're willing to stay awake, spiritually, emotionally, soulfully, you'll witness a shift that only happens once in a very rare while. You don't need to demand answers tonight. Just be willing to sit with yourself, even if what surfaces feels messy, unpolished, or uncomfortable. That's the whole point. That's the gift. That raw, unfiltered presence is exactly what the moon responds to. It's what allows transformation to take root and truly last. If you can't surrender to an answer you didn't expect, you probably weren't really ready to ask the question in the first place. We say we want clarity. We say we're searching for signs. We look to the sky, to repeating numbers, to passing strangers, to the lyrics of a song, hoping they'll offer some kind of confirmation. But then, when the answer does finally show up, how often do we freeze? How often do we question it, argue with it, twist it into something safer or easier to accept? Tonight isn't about control, it's about trust. And trust means asking from a place of openness, being willing to receive what comes, without trying to reshape it to suit your comfort zone. So here's something to try. Think of one honest, grounded yes or no question. Nothing vague or far into the future. Keep it real and present, something like, is it time to leave? Should I try again? Is this person right for me? Let the question form slowly, fully. Don't rush. Let it come from a quiet, truthful space within you. When it's clear, flip a coin. Heads means yes, tails means no. That's all. But here's the important part. You don't do anything about the answer tonight. You don't act on it until after the full moon has passed. Because this isn't about impulsiveness or immediate change. It's about energy. It's about signaling to the universe that you're ready to be guided, that you're releasing your grip, softening your need to control how everything unfolds. That small gesture, flipping a coin and accepting its answer without editing it, creates a ripple. It tells the universe you're open. It invites something deeper to come through. When you let go of the need to micromanage the outcome, you unlock doors you didn't even know were there. Control closes off possibilities. Openness expands them. And here's what tends to happen. Once the full moon crests and begins its slow descent, life starts to align in subtle, sometimes surprising ways with the answer you were given. Even if you weren't quite ready to hear it, something within you shifts. The current begins to carry you in that direction anyway. So just hold the answer. Sit with it. Trust it. Let it breathe. Because maybe, just maybe, the sign you've been waiting on was actually waiting on you to be ready first. Fire is a powerful force. It transforms. But if you light it too soon, you risk burning away the message before it's fully arrived. There's a popular ritual around full moons. Burning herbs, old letters, written words that symbolize what you want to let go of. And that ritual holds power. It works, but not tonight. This strawberry full moon plays by different rules. It doesn't rush. It doesn't demand a dramatic release. It doesn't come with explosive energy meant to tear things down in one night. This moon charges. It builds. It ripens. It intensifies what's already stirring inside of you. And if you strike the match too early, you interrupt the process before it's had a chance to complete. Think of this moment like pulling something tender and transformative from the oven just a little too soon. You can smell the promise in the air, sweet, thick, and almost complete. But if you take it out before it's ready, it doesn't rise. It sinks. It folds into itself. And not because it lacked potential, but because it wasn't given the full alchemy of time. The same holds true for spiritual release. When we try to force a letting go too early, before the energy of the moon has reached its natural fullness, what we seek to be free of doesn't vanish. It lingers, it clings, it waits in the wings, half-processed, incomplete, still tethered to the cords that were never fully cut. And that's where the magic of timing steps in. Not as a rule, not as superstition, but as rhythm. Ritual is not just what you do, it's when you do it. It's the energy that surrounds your intention, that holds it, that either fuels its transformation or stalls it in stasis. And tonight, this isn't the moment for release. It's the moment before. It's the space where you gather everything up, the feelings, the stories, the longings, the griefs, the desires that no longer serve but still ask to be seen one last time before they go. This moment is the inhale before the exhale, the pause at the top of the breath, the aching stillness before the flame. It's about staying in that space with yourself, not rushing to be done, not skipping over discomfort, not forcing clarity before it forms. It's about trusting the process enough to let the moon finish what it started inside you. Trusting that if you wait until the moon begins to crest and tip into its descent, the release you seek will not only come, it will work. It will actually move something inside of you that changes the shape of your inner world. It will loosen what has been clinging. It will open the door from the inside. So tonight, let yourself hold the tension. Let yourself feel the heaviness of what's nearly ready to leave, but hasn't yet let go. Feel it fully. Let it rise. Let it build. Write what's in your heart, even if it shakes your voice. Let the pages catch the pieces you're not yet ready to say out loud. Let your body feel the emotional weight, not to suffer, but to understand. Don't rush toward the fire. Don't strike the match just yet. That isn't avoidance. That's sacred patience. That's wise alignment. That's you tuning into a deeper rhythm, one that doesn't force but flows. In this energetic terrain, timing isn't just important. It's the hidden doorway to real transformation. And right now, the energy is still rising. The moon is still collecting. It is gathering light, strength, vision. It is filling your emotional body with signals and sensations that you might not understand yet, but you don't need to. You only need to feel them. You only need to allow the build-up to continue without resisting it. There is something holy about the waiting. Something powerful about not rushing your process. Because what you're waiting for isn't just a moment. It's a shift. And that shift needs the right conditions to take root. You might feel uncomfortable today, uneasy. Not in a way that's entirely traceable, but like something within you is pacing, restless, unsettled, and it's so easy to label that as anxiety, as fear, as emotional disarray. But not all unease is a sign that something is wrong. Sometimes what you're feeling isn't fear at all. It's energy. It's power. It's the current of change pushing its way through your nervous system, trying to find an outlet, a language, a doorway through your body. This full moon, the strawberry full moon, is a powerful energetic current. In these final hours before it reaches its zenith, it sends ripples through your entire being. And no, That's not just poetic metaphor, it's energetic fact. The moon's peak is a time when the spiritual and physical worlds intersect with heightened clarity, and the pressure you're feeling, in your chest, in your thoughts, in your skin, it's the light. It's the luminous intensity of emotional truth trying to break through the surface of your awareness. You might feel physically wired, like your skin can't quite contain the electricity running beneath it. Your legs might ache to move. Your chest might feel tight. Your mind might be a flurry of sparks and questions and memories that don't seem to stop firing. And it's tempting to interpret all of this as emotional overwhelm. But look deeper. You're not falling apart. You're being activated. You're being called into presence. You are standing at the edge of a threshold that your soul has been quietly walking toward for a long time. These full moon waves, especially this one, don't just move around you. They move through you. They awaken the parts of you that have been dormant. They stir the corners of your psyche that are ready to be seen, honored, released. The moonlight doesn't just illuminate the sky, it illuminates you. Your inner landscapes, your emotional blueprint. And sometimes, that can feel like too much. But what if it's not too much at all? What if it's exactly what's needed to shift something real, something lasting, something finally true? Tonight is not a time to push away the sensations. It's a time to honor them, to breathe into them, to recognize them not as symptoms, but as signals. You're not failing because you feel sensitive. You're not weak because you feel more. You're open. And in that openness, you are aligning with something ancient, something cosmic, something so much bigger than the daily worries that tend to dominate our lives. This moon is ancient. It has seen countless generations of souls move through their sacred rites of passage. It has held the grief of endings and the awe of beginnings. It knows how to carry what you can no longer hold. But it does so in its own time. It gathers energy before it gives it back. It pulls things to the surface before it burns them away. And tonight, that's what it's doing for you. It's lifting the shadows. It's pulling the threads. It's revealing what's been woven into your story for far too long. So trust the moon. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Don't rush the unraveling. Don't skip the sacred pause before the transformation. Feel everything that's stirring. Write it. Cry it. Breathe it. Let it live on the page, on your skin, in your awareness. But hold off on the release until the moon begins to shift. Because when the light tips over the edge and begins its descent, that's when the fire becomes real. That's when the match you strike will ignite something deeper than words. That's when the ceremony will become more than a ritual. It will become a turning point. So don't just sit in it. Whatever it is for you right now, be it discomfort, tightness, overwhelm, restlessness, or that invisible pressure that seems to hover over your chest like a weight with no name, don't stay frozen in it. You don't need to fix it, analyze it, or figure it all out this very moment. You just need to move. Not perform, not perfect, just move. And that movement doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. It doesn't need to be elegant or even graceful. It doesn't have to look like yoga or structured exercise. It can be as raw and strange as your body needs it to be. Take a walk around the room, shake out your hands. Let your arms go limp and then flap them like wings. Wiggle your fingers like they're remembering how to feel again. Sway your hips, twist your torso. Rub your hands together until they're warm. Make sounds if your voice wants to join in. Exhale deeply and fully, like you're finally giving yourself permission to let go. Let your body break its usual rhythm. Let it forget how it's supposed to behave. Let it rebel gently against the pressure to remain composed and contained. Because your body doesn't always want to hold things in. It wants to release, to clear, to remember what it means to be a channel rather than a container. And sometimes, the most natural and powerful thing you can do is to get out of your head and back into your physical being. It doesn't have to be ceremonial. It doesn't have to be sacred. It doesn't need crystals or chants or soft music. It just has to be honest. Honest movement. Real, intentional movement. A few minutes of authentic presence inside your own body is enough to create a profound shift. 5 minutes is enough to soften the edges. 10 minutes of letting yourself shake off the static could shift your entire emotional state. This isn't about pushing yourself or forcing anything. This isn't a performance. It's not another thing to master or achieve. It's about loosening the grip. Surrendering just enough to let the energy pass through instead of getting stuck inside. Because when we try to suppress the energy, when we hold it in, press it down, numb it out, or ignore it, it doesn't go away. It waits. It builds. And eventually, it exhausts us. Energy that doesn't get expressed or acknowledged turns into stagnation. And stagnant energy is what drains you. That's the kind of tired that sleep doesn't always fix. The kind of heaviness that creeps into your thoughts, your creativity, your joy, and your sense of connection. But when you let energy move, when you welcome it, honor it, and give it a pathway to flow, it becomes something else entirely. It becomes power. That same charge, that same inner restlessness or emotional electricity that once made you feel like you were spiraling. If you let it move through you, if you cooperate with it instead of resisting it, it transforms. It ignites your system in the best way. It charges you instead of draining you. It doesn't take away from you. It gives you momentum. This is a quiet truth that often gets missed in our fast-paced world. Energy that's allowed to move becomes strength. Energy that's allowed to flow becomes wisdom. It turns into presence, clarity, and even creativity. But energy that's denied, ignored, or repressed becomes a weight you carry. And eventually, that weight becomes fatigue, confusion, and burnout. So the next time you feel that tightening in your chest, that sudden inability to focus, or that need to shake your leg endlessly while you sit, don't see it as a problem. Don't judge it. Don't panic. It's not a sign that something's wrong. It's a sign that something's activating. That's not the beginning of a breakdown. It's the stirring of a breakthrough. You're being lit up from the inside. Something within you is trying to stir awake, to rise, to be acknowledged. And the more you allow yourself to move through that moment, without shame, without resistance, the more you realize how much there is to receive from it. That sensation you were afraid of is actually a gift in disguise, a nudge, a pulse of possibility. Because once you begin to recognize that activation for what it truly is, you stop mistaking your evolution for a problem. You stop confusing expansion with chaos. You stop seeing every energetic spike as something to fix and begin to trust it as something sacred and intelligent, even when it feels messy. Your body is wise. It knows what to do when you get out of its way. Your energy wants to evolve. It just needs your permission. It needs you to stop holding your breath and start breathing again. To stop clenching and begin to soften. To move. Not because someone told you to, not because it's on your to-do list, but because your being is asking for it. And while we're here, there's one more quiet but powerful practice you might be overlooking, especially if you're someone who's sensitive to energy or drawn to the rhythm of the moon. If the moon can't find your frequency, it can't deliver what's already meant for you. That might sound strange at first, but stay with me. The moon is always sending energy, subtle waves of emotional and intuitive insight, gentle nudges toward alignment, potent invitations for release, rest, or rebirth depending on her phase. But to receive those transmissions clearly, your own energy field, your aura, needs to be attuned. And one of the simplest ways to do that is also one of the most overlooked. Turn off the lights. All of them. Really. Not just dim them. Turn them off. Shut off the overhead lights, the bedside lamp, the TV screen glowing in the background. Power down the phone. Close the laptop. Resist the urge to scroll just one more time. Let yourself be immersed in natural darkness for at least 1 hour tonight. No screens, no artificial glow. Let your eyes and your nervous system adjust to candlelight or, even better, the glow of the moon. Let your body experience the rhythm of the night as it was always meant to. Because your nervous system doesn't just respond to light, it communicates in light. It interprets the quality of light as information, and the kind of light you expose yourself to, especially in the evening, has a direct effect on your energy, your mood, your clarity, and even your ability to receive intuitive insight. Artificial light, especially the blue light from screens, doesn't just keep you awake. It scrambles your energetic field. It sends confusing signals to your system. It tells your body it's still time to be alert when what it truly needs is rest and receptivity. It scatters your focus and muddies your energetic signal. And when your field is scattered, the moon's energy, the gentle pull it offers, the wisdom it shares, can't land properly. It's like trying to tune into a delicate frequency with static all around. The guidance you're asking for, the clarity you've been craving, the answers that seem to elude you, they're not being withheld, they're waiting, but they need a clear channel. They need your energy to be grounded, still, and receptive. So make space. Make darkness your ally for a while. Let it soften you. Let it re-regulate your system. Let it tune you back into the deeper frequencies of your being. The ones that don't speak in words, but in knowing, in quiet revelation. Let the light of the moon, or the flicker of a candle, do what artificial light never can. Bring you back into alignment with your inner rhythm. You don't need to do anything during this hour of darkness. You don't need to journal or meditate or manifest. You can, if that feels natural. But mostly, just be. Let your system recalibrate. Let your energy slow down and settle. Let your aura soften and strengthen at the same time. Let your natural intuition rise to the surface. Because there are things the moon wants to give you. Gifts that have already been written in the sky for you. But they don't arrive with noise. They don't compete with the glow of screens. They wait for your return to stillness. They wait for you to remember that not all light is helpful. Some light is a distraction, and some darkness is medicine. You're not lost. You're not too late. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're just being asked to listen more deeply, to move more honestly, to trust your body, to honor your energy, to let what's already meant for you finally find you. And sometimes, all it takes is 5 minutes of movement, 10 minutes of shaking off the weight, 1 hour of darkness, a small shift that opens the door to a much deeper clarity. Because the breakthroughs, they aren't dramatic explosions. They're often gentle, grounded, and quiet. And they begin the moment you decide to move. Gently, honestly, and in your own rhythm. This moon is not just hanging silently in the sky for your admiration. It's calling to you, not with words, not with fanfare, but with an ancient magnetic pull that your soul knows how to feel. It wants to meet you, not the you that's been trying to hold it all together, not the you who's been rushing from one task to another, trying to be everything for everyone. It wants to meet the real you, the one who still exists underneath all the layers you've had to put on just to get through the world. The moon is not interested in the roles you play, the titles you hold, or the perfectly composed messages you send out. It's not swayed by filters, algorithms, or polished identities. No, this moon wants truth. Raw, resonant, tender truth. But for that meeting to happen, you have to come back to a different pace. You have to soften the noise of everything that isn't essential and let your energy begin to remember the ancient rhythm it once knew. That means unplugging, even just for a little while. Not because it's trendy or spiritual or poetic, but because your soul can't recalibrate if it's constantly being tugged in 1,000 digital directions. Stillness is not a luxury right now. It's the door, the way in. When you go still, when you finally give yourself permission to step outside the chaos of doing, you make space for something real to begin speaking through you again. It's in that space, the one without scrolling, without reacting, without comparing or curating, that your energy can begin to remember how to speak the moon's language. That language is not spoken in words. It's felt in vibrations, in the breath, in the quiet knowing that arises when your mind finally gives your heart room to speak. This moon doesn't want you to wait for signs. It's not sending out clues in some mysterious cosmic game. The truth is, you are the sign. You are the arrival. You are what is meant to be rising right now. The signal has always been inside of you, but it only becomes clear when you stop searching for it outside yourself. So tonight, or whenever you feel the moon's pull calling to you again, try something simple yet powerful. Show up. Not in the way the world expects, not dressed up in certainty or charisma or hashtags, but stripped down, honest, vulnerable, real. Let the noise fall away. Let the pressure melt off your shoulders. You don't need to prove anything here. The moon isn't a judge. It doesn't care about perfection. It only recognizes what's genuine. This is your invitation to drop the performance, to leave behind the polished, filtered self that's been trying to keep up with everyone's expectations. Let yourself be seen, not by others, but by the quiet, steady light that has watched over humanity for thousands of years. Let yourself be found in your simplicity. The moon doesn't need your ritual, it needs your presence. And it's okay if that feels awkward at first. We're so used to being on. We're used to being busy, to reacting, to staying connected to the world 24/7. So when we step out of that rhythm, even briefly, there can be discomfort. Silence can feel empty when we're not used to it. Stillness can feel like a void. But give it time. Let the silence stretch just a little longer than what's comfortable. Let your eyes adjust to the dark. Let your nervous system begin to settle into something older, deeper, wiser. In that space, something profound begins to unfold. Your breath deepens. Your thoughts lose their sharp edges. The constant chatter of your mind softens into something quieter, like wind moving through trees. And in that calm, your intuition, your real, untouched inner compass, begins to awaken. It's always been there, beneath the noise, but now it has room to speak. And as your frequency clears, as your inner world begins to match the stillness of the moonlit night, you become visible to energies far beyond the surface. The moon, in its quiet majesty, recognizes when you've returned to your natural state. It senses when your spirit is no longer masked by the static of modern life. And that's when it moves closer. That's when it delivers what it's been carrying to you all along. This full moon is a vessel. It's full of energy that wants to be given, but it cannot force itself upon you. You must be in a state to receive, not through fanfare, not through complicated rituals, not through dramatic declarations. The moon doesn't speak the language of spectacle. It speaks the language of subtlety, of sincerity, of quiet readiness. Just 1 hour of deep, undistracted presence can reset your entire energetic field. 1 hour where you're not trying to be anything, fix anything, or manifest anything, just be. That kind of stillness is powerful because it allows your soul to surface. And when the layers fall away, when the truth of who you are rises unfiltered to meet the moon's gaze, that's when magic happens. You don't need to impress the moon. You just need to let it see you. And sometimes, to really receive the moon's message, you have to speak your truth out loud, even if no one else is listening. You have to let your own voice echo through your own ears. That act of speaking to yourself, honestly and vulnerably, is a powerful energetic alignment. It tells the universe that you are ready to witness yourself, that you are no longer running from your own reflection. Try it tonight. Stand in front of a mirror, even if it feels silly or strange. Look into your eyes, not to critique, not to evaluate, but to witness. See the person you've become. See the parts of you that have held it together when everything around you was falling apart. See the softness you've hidden, the tiredness you've masked, the dreams you've postponed. Speak gently, but speak clearly. Tell yourself something true, something you've been afraid to say. That moment, though quiet, can send waves through your energy field. It's a declaration, a homecoming, a reunion with your inner self. You are not just a body. You are not just thoughts or tasks or habits. You are a receiver, a transmitter, a living mirror for the frequency of the universe. And when you speak from that awareness, something sacred happens. You become a vessel for light. You become a clear channel for the energy that wants to move through you, not just during this full moon, but always. Tonight, the moon is not asking you to change. It's asking you to return, to come back to a place inside yourself that has always known how to listen. A place that isn't impressed by noise or validation, but finds deep peace in presence. That's where the moon is waiting. That's where the magic begins. And you don't have to go far to find that place. You don't have to climb a mountain or book a retreat or reinvent your entire life. You only have to slow down, to soften, to listen. So let the world spin without you for a moment. Let the notifications wait. Let the roles rest. Light a candle if it helps, or sit in darkness. Breathe, listen, feel. The moon is rising, and it's not just casting light on the world, it's illuminating you. The parts of you that have waited patiently to be seen, the pieces that didn't fit into the mold, the truths that couldn't be spoken until now. Let them rise with the moon. Let them be witnessed. Because tonight isn't just about lunar cycles or cosmic energy. It's about something far more personal. Your reconnection with yourself. Your ability to sit quietly with your own soul and say, I see you. I'm here now. I'm ready. And when you do, the moon will answer. Maybe not in words. Maybe not in the way you expect. But you'll feel it. In your bones. In your breath. In the soft hum of your heart. You don't need a candlelit altar. You don't need a well-structured ritual. You don't need sacred herbs, a perfectly timed moon phase, or a memorized chant. You don't even need to have absolute clarity about what you're about to say. All of that, while beautiful in its own right, is just decoration. What matters, the only thing that truly matters, is that you mean it. That your heart is involved. That the words come from somewhere real inside you. That's where the magic lives. We spend so much time waiting for the right moment. Waiting until we feel ready. Waiting until our confidence catches up with our desire. But the truth is, life doesn't wait. Energy doesn't wait. The universe isn't holding back until you have it all figured out. It responds to your intention, your resonance, your truth, even if that truth is whispered through trembling lips. Even if it rises from a place that feels uncertain, raw, or tender. Especially then. So when the time feels near, maybe tonight, maybe some quiet morning, go to a mirror, any mirror. It doesn't have to be mystical or grand. It could be the one above your bathroom sink, the smudged surface on the back of a closet door, or even the front-facing camera of your phone. As long as it reflects your image back to you clearly, that's all you need. Don't overthink the setting. Just arrive with presence. Stand before it. Let the noise fall away. Let the world fade for a moment. Then move close, not to check your face or adjust your appearance, but to meet your own eyes. Not your hair, not your expression, not the way you're standing. Just your eyes. Let yourself really see yourself. There's something ancient about eye contact. Even with your own reflection, it bypasses the masks we wear. It cuts through distraction and gets straight to the soul. And when you're there, connected with the depth of your own gaze, let one truth rise. Just one. Not a wish. Not a hope. Not something you think might happen if everything goes according to plan. Say something that already feels true in the depths of your being. Something that lives in you like a quiet certainty. It might not make sense to your logical mind. You might not know how it's going to happen. That doesn't matter. This isn't about logic. It's about energy, about resonance. Speak it softly. A whisper is enough. Let it be a sentence, a phrase, a single declaration that feels real in a way that sends a little shiver down your spine. Something like, I will be free, or I am finally finding peace, or I know love is coming. Whatever it is, let it be something that already exists somewhere inside you. Speak it directly to the version of yourself looking back at you. Because in some dimension, spiritual or energetic, that version of you is already living that truth. That version is listening. And then, this is important, walk away. Don't linger, don't analyze your face, don't try to lock in the moment or overthink it. Just let it go. You've said what needed to be said. You've sent the signal. That is the ritual. The act of walking away is not an afterthought. It's part of the claiming. It says to your energy, I trust this. It declares, I have spoken my truth, and now I release the need to control how or when it unfolds. There's a sacred power in release. True magic isn't about gripping tightly to an outcome. It's about clarity, alignment, and then surrender. When you speak your truth and walk away, you're doing something many people never give themselves permission to do. You're trusting your own energetic authority. You're affirming that you don't need to push or prove. You've aligned with a future version of yourself, and now you're letting the energy ripple out and do its work. Because energy doesn't need to be repeated endlessly to have an effect. Real power doesn't come from saying the same affirmation over and over again. Out of fear, it won't stick. It comes from saying it once, fully, clearly, deeply, and trusting that the vibration you sent out will echo in the places it needs to. When the moonlight touches that mirror, tonight or in the days to come, it won't just reflect your image, it will reflect your intention. The mirror holds the energetic imprint you left behind, and in its own quiet way, it sends that vibration back into your field. This is known as mirror charging, and while it may sound like something pulled from the pages of ancient myth or spiritual folklore, it's more than that. It's a real energetic imprinting process. Mirrors don't just reflect light, they reflect presence. They hold memory, especially when that memory is delivered with sincerity and emotion. When you speak into your reflection with intention, you charge the space, and that charge continues to interact with you even after you've walked away. Especially under a moon like this, gentle in name but cutting straight to the heart, this practice becomes even more potent. The lunar energy acts like a magnifying glass, amplifying what's already there. So if you approach your mirror with honesty, with courage, with love, that energy is echoed back, intensified. It's not about superstition. It's about energetic resonance. It's about aligning with a field of possibility that you already carry within you. And here's the most beautiful part. Even if you forget the exact words you spoke, even if, in a few days, your mind can't recall the sentence or the tone of your voice, the energy will remember. Your field will remember. Because what you spoke wasn't just sound, it was frequency. It was an extension of your becoming. It lives in the energetic fabric of your path now, whether or not your mind holds on to it. So if you're still reading, if this moment is still unfolding for you, maybe this is your sign. Maybe this is the invitation you've been waiting for, not from the world outside, but from the soul within. You don't need to wait for the right night, the perfect setup, or someone else to tell you it's time. When the feeling comes, even quietly, even gently, follow it. Find your mirror. Go alone. Let it be just you and the silence and the presence of your own energy. Look into your eyes. Speak the truth that feels both exhilarating and a little scary, because it's so close, so real. Then walk away like it's already happened, because in a way, it has. And don't be surprised if, over the coming days or weeks, you start to feel a shift. Maybe subtle, maybe profound. Things aligning, insights arriving. Synchronicities weaving themselves through your ordinary life like threads of gold. This is the unfolding. This is the power of owning a truth and letting it live, not as a demand, but as a declaration. Thank you for being here. Thank you for opening yourself to this message and to the deeper energy that's been reaching for you all along. If something within you stirred while reading this, if a part of you recognized the quiet power in these words, you're not alone. You're already in motion. And if you feel called to continue this journey with more reflections like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Your presence means more than you know. And if something arises from this practice, an insight, an emotion, a shift, I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to share in the comments. Your truth might be exactly what someone else needed to hear. Until next time, take care of yourself. Trust what you know, even if you don't know how. And keep listening for the subtle pull of the energy that's already on its way to meet you. Because it is.